Hello everyone, today I'll be going over how to do multi-angle two-jello recognition. This is mainly for the BH patterns. I'll also go a bit over how to do multi-angle CO recognition. Here I have all of the BH patterns and I'll just quickly go over them. The first one is when this entire square is solved. The next one is when these two are opposite and these two are opposite. The next one is when these two match and these two match. The next one is when these two are opposite and these two are opposite. This one is when there's a bar here and this one's adjacent. This one is when there's a bar here and this one's opposite. This one is when there's adjacent here and this bar is on the right. This one is when there's an opposite here and a bar here. This is when these two are opposite and these are adjacent. This one is when there's an adjacent here and the opposite's here. And these two are the hardest to recognize for beginners. They might seem like the same case, but for this one, these two match, and these two are opposite. And for this one, these two are opposite, and these two match. Okay, so this tutorial is mainly going to be for after you know at least one angle for two-jello recognition for BH. So let's get into it. So there's a set of rules you need to follow to be able to recognize BH patterns from all angles. We'll first go over the solved and what's normally called H cases, but I'd recommend you make your own names for all the cases for you to make it easier for you to memorize. You can use other people's names if it helps. So, for these cases, no matter what AUF it is at, it will always be the same case. So let's see here. Set the oriented side. So this is a solved case, right? The U case still solved. U2 still solved. U still solved. Yeah. And let's mix up the orientation. So it's solved here. It can also be solved here, here, and here. Same thing with H cases. If it's like an H perm from this side, also be an H perm from this side, and this side, and this side, and this side. Just from all sides will always be the same for these two cases. For these next two cases, when it's kind of like a Z perm, basically if you do a U move, it switches to the other pattern. So if you just do like a single move, either a UI or a U move, then it'll just switch, this pattern will switch to this pattern. Or if it was from this one, you're doing a U or UI move, and it'll switch from this pattern to this pattern. So do a U, see now we have this pattern, with these two are opposite and these two are opposite. But if you do another U move, then it goes back to the original pattern. So if you do U2 moves, it'll stay the same. If you do U or UI, it'll switch. Okay, next we have the U perms. These are mostly the most complicated ones, but it helps if you know what a U perm looks like. Let's go over the basics of how a U perm normally looks like. So for a U perm, there's always a bar, an opposite, and then two adjacent sides. So when there's a bar and an adjacent on one side, then the other side must be the opposite. there's an opposite on this side, the other side must be adjacent. Another thing that's good to know is opposite of the bar, so like opposite of this is this. This side is always adjacent, never opposite. And the opposite is always like perpendicular to the bar. So if the bar was like this, which is the opposite to this side, it's always perpendicular. And this opposite is always parallel to these kind of cases. So you see here, it's kind of like this line because these two match, right? So it's kind of like this short line here. And then the opposites are also this line, so it's kind of parallel. Because if you just imagine it's like a line from this corner, so it's like this, they're kind of parallel. So if you know it's an opposite this side, there'll be that pattern on this side. And that is basically all you need to know. So let's do some examples. Okay, so this is our 2GLL case. And we see that the pattern is like this one. Because you see that if this is correctly twisted, these two would match and these two would be opposite. My normal BH pattern recognition for this case is here. So how do we know what case it is? Well, we know that this like kind of line here is always parallel to the opposite, so an opposite must be here, so we know what pattern is here. And opposites are always perpendicular to the bar, and so is this case. So we know the bar is here. That tells us to be a bar here and opposite here, which there is. Here's another example solve. So we see that we have a Z-perm case, specifically this one, because these two are opposite, just like these two are opposite, these two are opposite. My normal BH recognition pattern is here or here. I can do it from both sides. So let's try to figure out what it'd be for both of them. So this one, we know that the BH pattern will switch between these two, so it will become this if we did a UI. So this one is like this. So if we did it correctly, that is right. And if you did a U2, this pattern will stay this. U2, this pattern will stay the same, which it does. Let's go over one last example solve. So let's try to find the BH pattern for what's here. So here we see there's a bar and there's an opposite. So we know that the bar will continue this way, so we know there's a bar here. And we also know that this side's opposite, so that means the other side to the bar must be adjacent. So that means there's a bar here and there's an adjacent here, which there is.